After losing my job, I came home to my in-laws holding a family vote about whether I should continue living there. My husband said, "It's not personal, just business." They took my keys and wallet. When I tried to leave, my car alarm went off because the fob had been reprogrammed. Then his sister handed me a letter addressed to. I never thought I'd end up getting ambushed in my own living room by the people who were supposed to be family. Let me back up. I'm Madison, 34. I worked in marketing for 9 years, most of them in Raleigh, North Carolina. That day, I got laid off, no warning, just a cold email and a 10-minute Zoom call from my boss who couldn't even look me in the eye. I packed up my stuff, cried in the parking lot, and drove home in silence. I was already scared about the bills, already thinking about how to tell Evan. I thought he'd at least comfort me, maybe hold me, say we'd figure it out. That's what a partner is supposed to do, right? Instead, I walked into a room full of people with fake sympathy on their faces. His mom Joy, his sister Amanda, Amanda's idiot boyfriend Cody, and of course Evan, my husband of 4 years, all sitting around like they were waiting on a court hearing. I knew immediately something was wrong. They all went silent when I walked in. Nobody stood up, nobody asked me if I was okay. Joy smiled like a wolf and patted the couch. "Come sit, Madison. We need to talk." I didn't sit. "What is?" Evan looked everywhere but at me. That's when I saw the notebook on the coffee table, my name at the top, underneath were tally marks. I counted them. 5. "What is that?" Amanda rolled her eyes. "We took a vote. We just finished." I felt like I couldn't breathe. "A vote about what?" Evan stood up, still avoiding eye contact. "It's nothing personal. It's just business." I laughed, genuinely laughed, because I didn't know what else to do. "You're joking." Joy shook her head. "Evan told us about your job situation. It's not that we don't sympathize, but we have to think about the household. We're all under one roof. We've been helping you." Amanda snapped, "Feeding you, giving you space, letting you use up utilities." "I paid for the last grocery run," I shouted. "And the power bill, check the records." "You were working then." Evan muttered, "But now things are different." I turned to Evan. "You seriously voted on whether or not I get to stay here?" He finally looked at me, his face blank. "Everyone had a say. So I don't get a say in whether I get kicked out of my own home?" Amanda raised her hand like she was proud. "It was 5-0. Joy nodded. "It wasn't an easy choice, but it was unanimous. We're not throwing you out immediately, but we do need to set some boundaries." "What kind of boundaries?" Evan stepped toward me and pulled my purse off my shoulder. I was too shocked to stop him. He reached inside and pulled out my keys and wallet. "We're going to hold on to these for a bit." I froze. "What?" "We don't want things to get hostile." "You're taking my car keys and my wallet?" "Just temporarily," Joy said. "Until we work out logistics. We'll give you your things back once there's a plan." "I'm not a damn prisoner," I shouted. Evan shrugged. "It's not about punishment. We just need to keep the peace." I didn't say anything. I turned and walked out the front door, marched to my car, hit the unlock button, and opened the door. The second I touched the handle, the car alarm exploded, deafening, the horn, the lights, full panic mode. I tried to shut it off, but the fob wasn't responding. Amanda came out holding some weird little USB device and smirking. "We reprogrammed it. Dad helped. You're not going anywhere." My ears were ringing. I stepped away from the car and just stared at her. "Are you serious?" Then she handed me a white envelope. My name was written on it in Evan's handwriting. I opened it right there. Inside were divorce papers, no explanation, no warning, no conversation, just the paperwork filed 2 days ago. I stood there holding the papers, barely able to breathe. I didn't even read all of it, just the first page, his full name, my full name, the word dissolution in big letters, filed in Wake County 2 days ago. So while I was still employed, working overtime, paying bills, and driving Joy to her physical therapy appointments, he was already planning to divorce me. I turned back toward the house. Amanda was still smirking like this was a joke. She folded her arms and leaned against the porch railing like she was watching a show. "What the hell is this?" I asked her, shaking the envelope. "Evan wanted to wait to tell you, but we voted that too," she said with zero shame. "We agreed it was better to just get it over with. Clean break." I was shaking. "You voted on whether my husband should tell me he was divorcing me?" "Why not?" she said. "You're not part of this family anymore." Something inside me snapped. I walked past her and stormed back into the house. Evan was sitting on the couch like nothing happened, flipping through his phone. I threw the envelope at him. "What is this?" He didn't flinch. "It's what it looks like. You filed for divorce without telling me 2 days ago?" He finally looked at me. "It wasn't working, Madison. We both know that. I just lost my job, Evan, and your solution is to kick me out like garbage? You weren't supposed to find out like this," he said. "I was going to talk to you tonight." Amanda got impatient. Joy stepped in. "This isn't all Evan's fault. We've all seen the signs for months." "What signs?" I snapped. "You're always tired, always snappy. You don't go to church anymore. You ignore us when we try to help." She said it as if those were sins worth exile. "I worked 60 hours a week. Of course I was tired." Evan stood up. "You used to be sweet. You used to be supportive, but you changed." "No," I said. "You just stopped trying." Then I noticed something else. My suitcase, one of the big ones I only used for trips, was sitting by the front door, already packed. My voice dropped. "What's in that?" Evan didn't say a word. I walked over and unzipped it. My clothes, not all of them, just enough to get me through a few days, one pair of shoes, no toiletries, no chargers. I turned around. "You packed my stuff?" "We helped," Amanda said from behind me. "You packed my things before I even got home?" Easier this way, Joy said. Less painful. I grabbed my phone to call my friend Becca, but the screen stayed black, dead. I went to plug it into the charger, but it was gone. I looked at Evan. Where's my charger? Packed it, he said. Check the front pocket. I opened the pocket. It wasn't there. That's when I realized, they didn't pack it, they took it. Cody, who hadn't said a word this whole time, finally spoke up from the kitchen. There's a Greyhound station downtown. We can drop you off. Like I was some stray animal. I couldn't even respond. I zipped up the suitcase and stood there silent. They didn't think I had anywhere to go, didn't think I had a backup plan. They thought I'd crawl away embarrassed and disappear. They didn't know about my cousin Rachel, and they definitely didn't know what I had on Evan. I didn't cry. I wanted to, my chest felt like it was going to split open, but I didn't give them that. I wheeled the suitcase out without another word, didn't even look at Evan. I refused to give him the satisfaction. Amanda muttered something as I passed her on the porch, probably some smug little jab, but I didn't hear it. I walked 3 blocks in silence before I found a gas station, borrowed a charger behind the counter, and texted Rachel. She answered in seconds, "Come here now. I'll get you." Rachel lived across town in Durham, my cousin on my mom's side, the one person in the world who always had my back. She'd hated Evan from day one. While I waited for her, I kept thinking about what Evan said. "You used to be sweet. You changed." He said it like I was the problem, but what he didn't say, the part he conveniently left out, was everything he had done. And I realized something. He'd been preparing for this. A week ago, I noticed my name had disappeared from our joint checking account login. He said it was a glitch. I believed him. Now I knew better. He'd been moving money for months, taking out small amounts from our savings, transferring it to his personal checking. I'd asked him about it in April, and he told me it was for emergency expenses. Now I saw what the emergency was: me. I got in Rachel's car and told her everything. She didn't even blink. "You're staying with me. No limit." "Don't worry," I cried then, in the car, when no one else could see, but I wasn't broken, I was furious. 2 days later, I started digging. I still had access to my old work laptop, they hadn't locked me out yet, and I remembered something. Evan had emailed himself a bunch of legal-looking documents from my computer 6 months ago. I thought it was weird at the time, but he said it was related to some family land stuff lies. I pulled up the cloud backup I'd set up ages ago, mostly to save photos, but he hadn't known that my sync settings included the desktop folder. I found the PDF, it was labeled Egrant Property Reallocation. When I opened it, my stomach dropped. It was a quiet transfer of the rental property I inherited from my grandmother, the one I let him manage because I didn't want to deal with the tenants. I trusted him to handle it. He forged my signature and had already sold it for $72,000. I checked the transaction ID and matched it to a deposit into Amanda's account. He didn't just divorce me, he stole from me, and he used his sister to hide it. I took screenshots of everything: documents, emails, transaction logs. I forwarded it all to Rachel, just in case something happened to my phone. I called the lawyer who handled my grandma's estate. She remembered me, and more importantly, she remembered I never signed off on selling the property. That was fraud. Now it wasn't just betrayal, it was illegal. That's when the real plan started forming, because if Evan wanted to treat me like a problem, I was going to show him what a real problem looked like. I didn't want justice, I wanted wreckage. I wanted Evan, Joy, Amanda, all of them, to feel what they did to me, to feel small, exposed, ashamed. So I started slow, quiet, followed the advice Rachel's lawyer friend gave me: don't confront, document, keep everything in order, build the case. Step 1, the rental property. Turns out, because Evan forged my signature on a property sale, I could press criminal charges for fraud. It helped that the notary listed on the document had no idea who Evan was. She even gave me a statement saying she never signed off on it. With that, I filed a police report, then a civil suit. Step 2, the money. Amanda's bank account, where the $72,000 went, was linked to a joint account she shared with her boyfriend Cody. That was her mistake. Cody had been in and out of trouble for years, mostly for petty theft. The minute he found out Amanda was being investigated for financial fraud, he panicked and flipped. He gave me everything: bank statements, email threads, even a screenshot of Amanda bragging, "Maddie will never see a dime." We buried it under 3 names. Cody gave a full written statement to my lawyer in exchange for immunity. He even said Amanda and Evan planned the whole thing at Joy's kitchen table the week before I got laid off. Step 3, the divorce. Evan was smug at first. He sent me a message from a new number: "Let's keep it peaceful. Don't drag this out." He thought I'd crawl away quietly. Instead, he got a call from a court clerk 2 weeks later saying he was now named in 2 lawsuits, one for fraud, one for theft, and that both were tied to our divorce proceedings. His response? He went to Facebook, posted some garbage about how I was unstable and blowing things out of proportion. That's when I dropped the last card. Remember Joy, the sweet southern matriarch who cared so much about her church image? I sent every screenshot, every document, every line of that forged signature, along with a filed police report, to her church committee and her pastor. She got removed from her charity board within days. Her name started circulating around Raleigh in the worst way. Wasn't she involved in some family theft? I heard she helped her son scam his wife. The gossip spread like wildfire. Evan lost his job. He worked at a small financial planning office, and the second his boss saw the legal documents, they let him go quietly. Amanda was charged as a co-conspirator. She pled down to avoid jail but had to pay a huge settlement and is now working at a warehouse job doing overnight shifts with no benefits. And that house, the one I had to leave with my suitcase? I got it. Turns out, my name was still partially tied to the deed through a joint agreement Evan never fully cleared. My lawyer pushed it through. Evan didn't have the money to fight it. I didn't move back in, Though. I sold it, took the money, bought a small condo in Durham, and started over. Now here's the twist no one expected, not even me. I got a call from Evan 6 months later. He was crying, not fake crying, real tears. I messed everything up, he said. I lost my family, my job. I should have never listened to Amanda or Mom. I let him talk. I didn't say much, just listened. Then he said, is there any way you'd consider? I don't know. Talking, coffee, closure. I told him the truth, there's no closure, Evan. There's just consequences, and you're finally getting yours. Then I hung up. That was the last time we spoke. And me? I started my own marketing consulting gig with Rachel. We work from home, take only the clients we like, and split everything 50-50. I'm not the same woman I was. Losing that job didn't ruin me, but Evan and his family, they taught me how to survive and how to burn the whole damn bridge when someone tries to push me off it.